welcome you all to this 5-day faculty development program on outcome-based education. Outcome-based education, I will start with a small analogy, just for a minute. So all of us like Hyderabad biryani, we enjoy it, we love it, but just knowing the recipe of Hyderabad biryani is not enough. If we want to cook Hyderabad biryani, we have to actually go through it step by step, practice it, and over a period of time, we will be able to make the perfect Hyderabad biryani. So, outcome-based education,
recording in progress,
as instituted under the Washington Accord, which has become popularized, is something like that. Just having an engineering degree, a certificate, is not enough. The engineer should be able to demonstrate that he can apply his knowledge through acquisition of skill set, and should be able to perform the engineering problems and devise solutions for it. So this is what outcome-based education is, and of course there are various parameters. We have all been acquainted with it through the good offices of Dean IQAC, who are the steering committee overseeing all the accreditation processes in the university as well as our sister institutions. We have been educated by them, and I think we have some degree of familiarity with it. So this 5-day workshop, or if we want to call it FDP, is aimed at listening to experts and thereby gaining better insight into how OBE works. Now, to get the program started, I would like to invite our esteemed dignitaries. First, I would like to invite Dean Faculty Affairs, under whose guidance we are conducting this program. Please, sir, Dr. Vignan. Now, I request Dean AAA, Dr. PMV Rao, sir, to please take the stage. I call upon Dean IQAC to please occupy his chair. Now, I request our esteemed Vice Chancellor, sir, to please take his chair. I call upon our Chairman, Dr. Rao Garu, to please adorn the. So now I request Dr. Vignan, sir, to please make the opening remarks and get the session rolling.
So this 5-day program is floated keeping in mind what we need to accomplish in the future. So one is the outcome-based education. You might have heard of outcome-based education. When I attended the meeting or the session at NIT Warangal a few years ago, the chairman of NBA, Dr. Agarwal, was mentioning the philosophy of NBA is so simple that each and every minute spent by the student on campus is valuable and should be realized. So it is qualitative and it should be realized. That with that in mind, they have floated this MBA in line with Washington Accord. So this 5 days workshop is drawing people, resource persons across India. Our Sarda Madam joined in Faculty Affairs in association with Office of Dean IQAC. They have convinced people to attend, including the director, NITTR, Professor Verma, and other people. So these resource persons are highly knowledgeable in the field and they are going to throw light. So one is we are revising our curriculum, there is R22, wherein we have this LTP, L stands for listening, learning, and the T for transaction, T practice, how we can play with this LTP and what are the methods of assessing this LTP in line with outcome-based education, and what is a capstone project, because the faculty are given autonomy as well as accountability is also kept in mind. So what is a capstone project, how should this capstone project be designed, and what are the kind of questions that need to be given to students to make them critically think. So all these things they will walk you through a series of sessions. My humble request to the faculty members is, please don't think about the department and other things, because last time we ourselves as deans and HODs have come here and were very well mentored by our Vice Chancellor Nagabhushan Garu regarding this R22. So we didn't even think of what is in our office until we went back and cleared the files.
This outcome-based education along with the NEP is going to be buzzwords in next 15 to 20 years in our academic area. Mainly earlier we thought of this outcome-based education in relation to MBA and only for engineering graduates. Now government is thinking of introducing this outcome-based education from LKG onwards. Even if you see the NEP, which is going to be implemented in the next 5 to 10 years, slowly, actually they have started implementing. And you will see the measurement of outcomes at the end of each year. And the way we are issuing the grade cards that are going to be changed. So I hope by the end of this session, we will all have a different view about seeing into the syllabus, and you will have a different view in formulating the syllabus. Definitely we will find out, because this outcomes are itself is going to be main criteria for the existence of a course in the curriculum. So if the outcomes are not matching with the outcomes what we are expecting, the course structure itself you may have to change, or maybe the pedagogy you are using in delivering that course may have to be changed. Okay. By the end of the session, again I will come and I want to participate in some of the sessions to know how, because Sarada Madam has already told for some of you it is going to be a refresher course. I hope all of you will get some advantage from this program. Thank you.
Madam mentioned about OBE. OBE initiated by Washington Accord in the year 1989. First two countries implemented this one, that is Australia, South Africa, USA. Later, few countries joined in that Washington Accord membership. From our India, NBA is one of the members. So NBA enrolled in this Washington Accord in the year 1984. Since that period onwards, NBA is adopting and encouraging the engineering institution to adopt this OBE concept. If you see in our India, we have two concepts. NBA is accrediting few programs. One is Type 1 programs, Type 2 institutions. Type 1 means universities, autonomous colleges. Type 2 means affiliated colleges. For engineering and technology, in PG and UG programs. And in addition to that, management, master of computer applications, hotel management, diploma in all categories, they are asking the institution to adopt this OBE concept. So this is another concept, and everybody they are talking, and most of you are familiar with OBE aspect. Outcomes are more main focus if you want to reach towards OBE. That is program outcomes, course outcomes, program educational objectives, all these are available. If you see the outcomes given by NBA, so there are 12 outcomes. The first 5 outcomes they are focusing on complex engineering aspects. PO1, apply engineering knowledge. PO2, problem analysis. PO3, design and development of solutions for engineering problems. And the PO4 is investigation of complex problems. PO5 is what to do research. Most of our engineering courses are covering these 5 aspects. Either higher level or medium level or low level. But some of the POs are there. Example, the engineering society, the PO6, PO7 is environmental and sustainability, PO8 is ethics, PO9 is individual and teamwork, PO10 is communication, PO11 is project management and finance, PO12 is lifelong learning.
If a teacher is scientific and philosophical, he will definitely understand outcome-based education also is going to be just the narration of a philosophy of what teaching learning process has got to be. It is nothing very big, nothing very extraordinary, but very important of outcome-based education is that it is part of your teaching learning process. The most important concept of outcome-based education is its compatibility. Compatibility across, compatibility within, and compatibility intra. If you ensure all these compatibilities, then your students, your stakeholders would be at the same level wherever they go. That's all. It is most important is compatibility in outcome-based education. So the compatibility, you know very well, is more in automobile engineering also. The cars which come and make a big impact will just vanish because the parts of the cars are not compatible. They just simply vanish because of the loss of compatibility. Once we ensure compatibility, absolutely no problem. Our students can survive anywhere on the globe. And so also, their engineering, whatever they speak, could be understood by us. Therefore, my faculty should be always philosophical and always scientific in thinking.
But as far as I know, this outcome-based education, these outcomes should be there for every activity, not only in the education or in the classroom scenario. In every activity, the outcomes need to be defined. For example, yesterday we conducted Independence, we have celebrated Independence Day. All the institutions are also celebrating Independence Day. So first we have to define the outcomes of why we are celebrating this Independence Day. Otherwise, because this is a mandatory from the UGC or from somebody, so we are celebrating. Because everybody is celebrating, we are celebrating. Because it is something National Day, so we are born to celebrate, we are celebrating, and all these statements have no meaning at all if we do not define the outcomes of it. So outcomes must be to develop the patriotic spirit. The outcomes may be to create awareness among the students about the struggle. The outcomes may be to popularize their freedom fighters among the younger generation. Outcomes may be, so yes, what are the issues after 75 years we are facing, and what are the issues we are going to face. These are all the things need to be defined before celebration of the Independence Day. That's true for any subject. So what I want to tell it is there, very much there with the good teachers in the past also. In the past also, good teacher always used to think, from this chapter, what are the items I have to put it in the minds of the people. This all through we have seen very good teachers that they make the story around those concepts. Not that simply making para to para, paragraph to paragraph, item to item something. They take up 2-3 concepts of a particular chapter and make out a story, supporting story around that concept. That is how, the same thing is going in a bit different way, but the difference in between the past and present is, those days people used to give much importance for the memory part, only for the knowledge part. Now we have to make it comprehensive of it. Apart from the knowledge, remembering, we have to see the application, we have to see the analysis part, we have to see the social aspect, we have to see the continuous learning, all these things. We made it more comprehensive, but it was there. Education was there from hundreds of years. But only the difference, what I understood, I don't know, maybe right, wrong, experts must be there on the online. So this is my understanding. So this is knowledge. We should not limit ourselves to only transfer of knowledge. It should be beyond that, application of knowledge, analysis part, and analysis of complex issues, and also application to the social issues, and also should be helpful to the continuous learning and all that. The difference is very specific. Suppose somebody is telling, teaching about the force. Previously, in the past, they used to teach ask the students to by heart and write in the examination. Now we have to tell them where it would be applied, to what extent it would be applied, what would be the application of force in the lifelong process, in various applications. or in the life itself. This is how we have to explain and yes, define the outcomes first. It is not the syllabus to be defined first. The first we have to define the outcomes, and based on that we have to write the, as I told you, the comparison of Independence Day. So define the outcomes first for every course and also every chapter. Not only, I think all of you are defining the outcomes for the course, but it is very much, you are requested to define the outcomes for every unit, not the course. Because course broad outcomes would be there. For every unit also you have to define the outcomes, then you have to frame the syllabus, then you have to frame the choose the teaching methodology, then you have to choose the activities associated to be conducted with this. Then the outcomes would be naturally justified, and yes, the students would be at par with anybody in the world. I have no doubts that Indian student is inferior to anybody or cannot learn anything or cannot do anything. He can do at par with anybody in the world, provided he is given the reasonable outputs, inputs in a very scientific way. This is it. So for every activity, for every exercise, first it is the reverse process. So normally what the institution does, they write the curriculum, they define the curriculum, and based on that they write the outcomes, they define the evaluation, they give the credits or the marks. This is the process. What I am requesting you, do it in the reverse way. Define the outcomes, define the evaluation methods, and then write the syllabus. And then choose the methodology of teaching, whether it is the classroom methodology or lab methodology or something. So yes, it is very much possible. We have all the facilities to do that. We are in no way short of any facility or the people. We have everything. Only thing we have to conceptualize that. I know that these experts are from different branches. So mechanical man like Prasad gives the examples in mechanics, mechanical way. And somebody, a professor from EC gives the example from EC. But you have to interpret that in your own subject and do something. The listening, this kind of listening won't do any benefit to you, I'm sure. But after listening, you have to interpret the same thing to your course and make a note of it. Otherwise, just sitting and listening, maybe some benefit may be there, but it is not a complete process. To complete the process, you have to interpret the same thing to your own course, to your own branch, to your own laboratory process, and make out something out of that. Otherwise, just listening, and you can't feel the experience of it also, how we are doing this. So somebody is giving an example from Ghibli, but yes, how is it relevant to the EC fellow? So you have to make, because you are intelligent people, you have to make it relevant to choose some similar kind of unit and make it relevant to you also. And you have to make a notes of it. Not only making the notes what they are teaching, you have to do the extra work beyond that notes what they are giving on your own. Then only you can explain it something to the other faculty members, create some understanding of this. This is not a big deal, I think. Only thing, your mindset need to be changed. So yes, from the short goal, short outcome to a comprehensive outcome. Short outcomes in the past is only memory part, only remembering part. So we have to make it more comprehensive thing and more meaningful. So already Vice Chancellor is doing some exercise on this, and 2022 R22 exercise is done for the first year students, and you have done some exercise. I think it is very easy for all of you to grasp this, what the experts are